All right. Good evening, guys. Or good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. We're just getting started, so I just want to, you know, get your intro messages if you are just joining us. Um, we'll be starting soon. I just want us to gather around while we wait for the time we'll be starting. So as you just come in, just let us know you are here by dropping some comments in the comment section. Um, as we get started in a few minutes time. Right. So I'm here. I'm just going to be watching. But let me do some sharing on WhatsApp. And please do confirm if you can hear me. Okay. Do confirm if you can hear me. Um, thank you. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear can hear me, please? Confirm that you can hear me. Uh, Confirm that you can hear me. Confirm that you can hear me. If you can hear me, confirm that you can hear me, please. Um, Sorry for the network glitch. Response. Let me check on WhatsApp, please. Yeah, this network is poor. Very, very poor. Since Saudi, just after. Beatrice, can you hear me? I don't seem to be. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Beatrice, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me? Trying to confirm if you can hear me. So please, if you are here and you're with us, I think we've spent quite a lot of time trying to set up this event. My internet has been quite slow. I had to switch to a backup network so we can get started. Um, so please, if you are here live and you are connected with us, can you drop some comments in the comment section so we can know that you are here with us? We are starting right away. I think we can get started in a few minutes. So, my Beatrice, I don't know, can you hear me at the background? All right. So I can see some comments. Beatrice said you can hear me. Uh, Joy said she can hear me. All right. So it means that we are together, right? So we have an amazing program ahead of us tonight, and our speaker is backstage, and she's already getting set and getting ready to have this session with us. Um, we have just limited time, and there are quite a lot of things we would want to look into that time may fail us to be able to, you know, touch every aspect of this matter. I know when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, when it comes to marriage, it's a very, delicate matter and a very delicate issue, and it's not something we will just rush through. But I'm very hopeful, quite hopeful that with the short time we have, we'll be able to touch every aspect of this subject matter, right? And then we'll be able to give out value to you, uh, and then we'll be able to take value ourselves, right? Okay, so please, while we are waiting for them, can we just do a brief introduction as you just let us know in the comment section your name and where you are joining us from, right? My name is This. I'm joining from Lagos. My name is This. I'm joining from Port Harcourt. My name is Gold David. I'm joining from Port Harcourt, or whatever your name is. You're joining from Delta or where? Let us know in the comment section where you are joining us from. Now, Beatrice, I don't know. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Is it me? I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. All
I can,
right,
I can
all
hear you.
right, all right, all right. Okay, so we're about to get started. We've spent quite a lot of time trying to set up, so we want to get right into the conversation for tonight. So please, um I would like you all to meet our amazing speaker for this episode of our monthly leadership series. So we all know it's a Valentine special. So part of what we do in the inspiration is to be able to build leaders and build families, right? Build families that can last. Okay, so and that's why we have to consider the fact that if there's Valentine and there's quite a lot of notion around love and what is and what is not, what should be and what should not be, what is right, what is wrong, how do I get started if I want to get into relationships? So persons have had several backgrounds and they are afraid of getting into relationships. Is it even a necessity for me? Do I need to even get married? And if I get married, how do I last? how does relationship last? These are quite some questions that are in the minds of people when it comes to subject matters around relationships. Hopefully tonight we'll see how we can attend to these issues. And some of them are asking questions like, how do I even find the right person? There's this saying that there has to be that Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. There has to be that special one that um, you must get married to. So all these are questions that we look forward to getting answers to tonight. And I'm sure our speaker is well loaded. She's the coordinator, co-coordinator with the beloved husband of the singles prayer room. So that's where she builds singles into becoming better um, partners to prepare themselves for marriage. And all. I've followed quite a lot of their teachings, and I'm quite amazed, quite impressed, and quite inspired by their own personal story. I mean, she and her husband and how they met, and also the lives that they're impacting through their platform. I'm also there, and I'm learning consistently every day how to become better. I know I'm not married yet, but by the grace of God, I know very soon we'll be there. But then, as we are preparing ourselves, we have to learn from those who have gone ahead of us. And that's why we are having this special episode tonight. All right, so I've seen quite a lot of persons. I've seen Fine Osunjun joining from Port Harcourt. I've seen Rosalind joining from Lagos. I've seen Goodluck also joining from Port Harcourt. And then others who are going to come, please, we are waiting for you all to come and join us. All right, so I will quickly bring her up stage so she can get started with us. We have just around 45 minutes to 1 hour to be able to address this topic ahead of us. So please, my Beatrice, you're welcome on board. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
choosing to join us tonight. Please, the floor is
Thank
yours.
you much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, especially Mr. David Gold. Thank you for the privilege. I don't know if you can hear me. Some of my gadgets are malfunctioning, but I trust that you can hear me because I
Yeah, I can
scarcely
hear
heard
you.
you. Okay, thank
I
you.
can hear you.
And thank you to everyone present here tonight. Thank you so much for being present. Okay, today is going to be an amazing moment as we look into the matter of love, dating, and marriage. Um, when we're in the secondary school, we learned word register in the English language, and we would understand that all of these concepts fall into one word register: love, dating, marriage, friendship, courtship, and all. They all fall into the relationship umbrella. So today we want to look at them, and in a bit to do that, because love talks are usually long talks, so we'll see how to break them into sections so we do not go so much outside the point, because it's possible to go outside the confine of what we are looking at today. So long as it is a love talk, just expect that it's going to be a long talk. Okay, so let's just get started. I didn't hear you, but it is my manner to say what a prayer before I commence. I don't know if because of the volume I did not partake. Okay, so
It's
Father, we
fine. Go
thank you
ahead.
so much for thank you so much for this moment. We ask that as we learn that you grant us understanding in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, so we are starting with the concept of love. But before we start, as a way of introduction, I would like to share with you an experience I had while listening to this marriage counselor. Now, this marriage counselor had severally counseled couples who wanted to file for divorce. And when couples want to file for divorce, they are at their peak of aggression, because that time everybody is spewing everything that the other person has done. He has not been paying the school fees. He has not been faithful. He's been a cheating husband. She's been a lazy wife. She's been a disrespectful woman. And this counselor was able to listen to them. But just after they were done, he decided to ask if by any means they still loved each other. And the answer was in the affirmative. They were so much in love with each other, but yet didn't want the marriage to continue. This is just to help us understand that love is very important in marriage, but then that love is not one and all. It is not everything in marriage. Okay, so in this light, we will be looking at can you stay?
So sorry, guys.
Okay, sorry about.
Okay, she's back. All right.
Okay, so this counselor decided to ask to know why these couples loved themselves and yet wanted to file for divorce. And like I was saying, that has already led us to the fact that love is important in marriage, but then love is not everything in marriage. In fact, following the theme of this meeting, love, dating, and marriage, as a matter of fact, that is the theme, that is the chain that exists out there. When you see young people who desire to get married somewhere in the future, the chain has always been we fall in love, okay? Their understanding of love, because we're going to talk about that. What indeed is this love? But following their understanding of love, they believe that once they are able to enjoy themselves to some extent, they're able to, I mean, have affection towards each other to some extent. The next thing to do is to date. That's why we have a number of boyfriends and girlfriends everywhere, because that's the next thing they believe that should happen. And so they date, okay? From dating, the ones that are blessed, they get unwanted pregnancy. The ones that are super blessed, they get series of abortions. Those who are super, super, super blessed, their hearts are pieces and shattered. Okay. Now this is the chain. Follow it. They fall in love based on some characteristics, some kinds, qualities that they admire from the other person, and they have emotions overwhelming them towards the person, and then they pick interest in the person and they begin to build some kind of intimacy, okay, not sexual intimacy, but intimacy with such a person. And then it moves to that stage of boyfriend, girlfriend that has become a uniform today. And then from that boyfriend, girlfriend dating stage, like I said, only a very few end up getting married, okay, following the very, very right thing they do. Okay, the result of that dating most of the times land them in unwanted pregnancies, land them in heartbreaks, land them in all kinds. But then that's the chain out there. And then we'll be taking this as subheading one, just to help us stay, composed and following the line and arrangement of our meeting. And then the session two, we'll be looking at friendship, we'll be looking at courtship and marriage. This is just to help us guide us through what we'll be learning, because I said love talks are usually long talks. So let's get started. Okay, we'll start by talking on the concept of love. Love itself is a very difficult concept to explain. The reason is that love means different people, different things to different people. Okay, people experience love differently, people feel loved differently, people ask for love differently. And that is why you see that someone would have sat down to write about the five love languages, because the person believes that love is felt differently and love is understood differently. So, like I said, love is a very difficult concept to break down, because people feel it differently. But then, for the purpose of this meeting, I would give you my definition of love, following my experience by the mercies of God as a married lady. At least we'll be hitting our 2 years in a very short time. So my experience in the past 1 year into the 2 years of my marriage, what I've understood to be love, contrary to what I have always thought has been love. So what is love? In the course of preparing for this meeting, I came across ridiculous definitions of love from well-known dictionaries, and then it dawned on me that we have a problem already with what we understand as love. We have a problem with the definitions that have been given to us as love. Seem to me we have been lied to. They lied to us because a lot of these dictionaries have defined love with some affinity with sexual attraction. If you look at most of the definitions of love in dictionaries, you can do that research after this meeting. It has some connection, not just some connection, some very strong connection with sexual attraction. People believe that love is some form of attraction that has to do with sensuality, okay? And already that's a no-no. Okay, we're going to come to know what is love, but that's a no-no. So we would look at it this way. I am breaking love into two. I am not going by Greek mythology that has given us kinds of love, the eros, the agape, the philia, and all. Okay, permit me. This is my concept of love and my type of love. After this meeting, you can return to the euros, the agape, and all. Okay, but for the sake of this meeting, we have two types of love. The first type of love for me is the divine kind of love. I am not trying to be religious. I am not trying to give you a religious perspective to these things. It is just what it is. We have the divine kind of love, which is what was clearly demonstrated by the death of Christ on the cross of Calvary. I wanted to understand this because the truth is that having a successful marriage, building a successful relationship, okay, is not anywhere far from understanding what love is and the God kind of love, okay? Understanding the God kind of love, understanding what happened on the cross of Calvary. The death of Christ on the cross of Calvary was a pure demonstration of what I term that kind of divine love. That love that could send a God kind of person to die for people who he wasn't admiring. I don't know if you understand. So my husband looks at me in the house and probably likes my hair and he comes and gives me a kiss or hugs me and says, I love you. He loves me, right? But something has actually caught his attention. But Jesus Christ died on the cross of Calvary even when we had not given him styles, moves. When I mean styles, I mean we've not given him our best, okay? We have not given him variation of sacrifices. Yet he was able to die for us. He was able to love us unconditionally. So as a result, in fact, my definition of this kind of love, you may want to take it down. For me, this kind of love and love in general is that full and complete commitment to someone, to something that is either deserving or not deserving of it, of your love. I'm just looking at the time, and it is just impossible to exhaust all that we have. The time is really, 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 really too small. Okay, I think we should just stop on love. And the other kind of love I said is emotional. Those love can come and go. This is why in building a lasting relationship, something that must be put in place is the ideal understanding of love. Because, like I said, that kind of emotional love can come and go. Okay, it can come as a result of admiration, can come as a result of you know okay, admiration I said, and it can come as a result of having some kind of attraction to someone's personality and anything at all that is able to attract you. But the kind of love that you should have as a person who desires to someday build a lasting relationship is that divine love. The reason is that this kind of emotional love will not always be there. Okay? You need something that will help you sustain your home. And so you should look at building and deliberately working on that love that flows from you, whether or not the other person deserves it. This is 8:25. I hope that we're able to give time. Okay, so let's just quickly talk on dating. Okay, dating is just that act. My our contemporary time has redefined dating, and in fact, they have legalized it in their head because they did not go to courts. They have legalized dating and have made dating become like a prerequisite for marriage. So if you go out there, what people do is that, like I said, the train they go from falling in love. That's the word they use in quote. They fall in love because they have an outpour of emotion towards the person. You just you are all over the person is all over you, and you are just, it's doing you mini, mini, mini. Your body is just doing you one kind. And from that stage, they say, I love you. I love you. Like, I so love you. And from that stage, they just cheaply say, I love you. And they believe that is love. So it moves from that stage, it goes into that dating stage. Now, dating has been long existing. Okay. And in fact, it started existing like, I think, a public kind of courtship. So what they do is that instead of doing it privately, I think that's the history around dating. We don't have all the time to even look at that right now. But dating in our contemporary days has been understood to be when a young boy and a young girl are into some kind of romantic relationship. Like I said, romantic relationship that most times are aimless. And I'm not trying to sound insultive. I'm not trying to bring down your dating, right? But romantic relationships that usually are not headed somewhere. So this is what dating has been comprised of. So you see a young boy and you see a young girl who are into some kind of romantic relationship that involves, giving out value, understand the foundations to these things and what is ideal versus what is not ideal. Because if you do not have the right information, just like the whole dating thing, you may want to go ahead building your marriage on such a foundation, and we can tell that it is not going to work. Follow work, it cannot work. So when people come together and believe that love in dating has to do with giving out what is most valuable to you, already we can be sure that they are building on a faulty foundation because they are lacking some form of basic knowledge, or they got their knowledge from the very, very wrong source. So, before we leave the point one, the first subheading, I'll say this, then we'll talk about marriage. From love and dating, you need to know, so that person listening to me, that love is not all about emotions. I understand that when we talk about relationships, emotions are very important. But to build a lasting relationship, a lasting marriage that can stand the test of time and that can stand the heat and come out refined, glowing, healthy relationship that can last and impact as much as possible, you must have that kind of divine love. Like I said, it is not in a bid to sound religious. That is the main deal, right? That is all you need to be able to sustain marriage. You need it. You need it. Some days you just wake up and your partner is looking like a stranger to you. It is not a lie. It is true that sometimes you wake up and your partner doesn't look like that person you used to, admire. Okay, we don't have time. I have lots of stories I would have loved to share. So understand that love, like I said, is a full and complete commitment to someone who may or may not be deserving of that commitment. Okay. Then we go to marriage. Marriage, of course, simply put, is a union between two persons. But then, as children of God, because I believe that we are talking to some sect of persons, I'd like to say also that marriage is not a social institution. Marriage is not an emotional institution. Marriage is not a financial institution. Marriage is spiritually constructed. It is done in such a way that if you do not partner with God, you see the chances to really succeed in marriage without real and true partnership with God is slim. This is why there's no way we can talk about building a successful marriage without touching on the subject matter of God. Again, it is not in a bid to sound religious. Okay, we are wise, but then we should be able to understand where and how to get that wisdom. So in marriage, everything has to get going, has to get new daily, right? You need to get wiser daily. You need to get wise for the day, right? And you need to consult the wise one for that day. You need to consult the wise one for that day. This is why it is not making sense when you spread energy too early. Okay, I can't imagine how that you go into relationships that you are not ready to die for. just like the death of Christ, when you go into marriage, you should know that this union is for life. I mean, for better for worse. I mean, for better for worse. No, no, not even for better for worse. It's for life or for death. And you are giving your last. You must be willing to give your last, your very last, into that marriage. So if you are that type that wants to get into dating every fine person or everybody your emotion responds to, then you, at the end of the day, you go empty because everything is going to be going. Everything will shall be going. You want to give your time. You want love is sacrifice. Love is so much of commitment. So marriage is that union, but in God's perspective, marriage is God's medium to prosper and to forward the kingdom. Okay, so let's just go straight into the next session because we didn't have time. Okay, we didn't have time. So let's go to friendship, courtship, and marriage. And for me, this should be the ideal chain when it comes to marriage and having a marriage that can last. Before we go ahead, I'd like to say I hope that with this point of mine, I have been able to convince you and not to confuse you that dating is a waste of energy, okay? And like I said, I'm not trying to come and stop you from doing what you have been doing, but I'd rather advise that
Sorry, guys. Our speaker seems to be off. I've been enjoying this session.
when we go to
Okay,
session
since
two
he's
of
back.
this meeting, sorry, the network is bad. So when
Yes,
we go to
please
session two
go
of this
ahead.
meeting, we're talking about the part of finding a life partner, the part of building a life partner, and all. Okay, so we're talking about friendship now, courtship, and marriage. And I said this should be the ideal chain to building a lasting relationship. This should be the ideal chain. I just pray God helps us to exhaust all that is here before we run out of time. Now, in friendship, okay, you are able to learn people. In friendship, you are able to discover people. In friendship, you are able to discover yourself. Okay, there are certain things that until I got very close to my husband, okay, I really did not settle down to know about myself. So as I got into friendship with my husband, I started discovering that I had weaknesses in certain areas that probably strangers may not be bold enough to call my attention to. Okay, people from far distant people may not be able to call my attention to. But friendship was able to help me discover them, right? So friendship is actually that ideal that should stand in for whatever we have assumed dating to be. Friendship is beautiful, and friendship can be pure. Friendship can be clean. One thing with this dating is, oh, I don't want to go back to dating. Okay, there's a lot to talk on dating, love, and marriage. We are trying to shorten everything. But then let me just say this: one thing with dating is, first of all, are you aware that we don't date as kingdom citizens? We know they try. Like we don't do tests and tests and tests. And this is what all the time goes on when dating occurs. Because you have this careless boundary. Like you claim to have boundaries that are so loose that you lose everything in the process. This is why it is not for us. And I also said that you should you should think of gathering your energy to pour into the right person when it is the very right time. So let's come back to friendship. Friendship is that stage of your relationship with people that help you to maximize every relationship, every opportunity rather, to learn yourself and also to learn people. Now, it will interest you to know that friendship allows you to learn people. Okay, for instance, now before I met my husband, I had friends, right? I had male friends, and friendship with male friends gave me the privilege to learn certain things too. That I did not, of course, I wouldn't have married everybody, of course, But then some of the things I learned with these friends are helping me in my home. Okay, they are helping me in my home. This is why friendship is perfect when you think of marriage. And it's not that kind of friendship that is burdensome, because some of the friendship we're having, even marriage does not demand like that. Friendship should be loose enough to allow you learn, and also to allow the other person learn, to allow you study, to allow you observe. And again, let me also say that friendship stage must not be restricted to one person. You can be friends with anybody and at any time. So friendship should be part of the chain when you think of getting married. Okay, we're going to talk about what to look out for yourself and even in others and in both of you as partners before you get married. But this is just important to say that you can replace that you're dating with being good friends with people, good friends who you can actually grow together. You can actually be instrumental to your growth. You can actually be helpful to your life and pursuit and everything possible. Okay, but it is pure. It is in its purest form. Healthy friendships. Okay, and then in the same chain we have courtship. I'll come there, but I think before we go there, let's talk briefly on things to look out for before even entering into a marriage relationship. I tried as much as possible to see if I could arrange these things in the most reasonable manner, but then this is the best I could do. Okay, we have to just stop here and go and pick from another place and patch it together. By the end of the day, we ensure that we go and get to the end of all that we have. Okay, so what do we do? What do you do before entering into a relationship in the first place? And when I say relationship, remember that we are talking about friendship, courtship, and marriage. Okay, so what should you do? I have long loved to preach on the subject of the three P's. The three P's that you should ensure you discover before entering into any kind of relationship. Okay, this would help you, this would help the other partner, and this will make your relationships better. This will make your relationship easier, sweeter, growing, and all. Okay, P number one is the first discovery of the principal. I wouldn't waste so much time because I know that you know, but you still need to know that when you talk about a relationship, it has to do with you and another person, right? But you need, like I said the other time, you need something that is bigger than the both of you. Even friendship relationship, even mother to child relationship. There are certain things that are not excusable. You can't even do without them. And these are the three P's I'm about to give to us. P number one, I said the principal. You need to discover your principal. Knowing God in your life as a person covers for a whole lot of things. I don't know if you know, but this is it. Once you have a relationship with God, a relationship that you know is healthy, you become wiser. I don't know about you, but since I got to know God for myself, my life became better. I became wiser. I became everything better. So your first discovery is the discovery of the principle. Okay, this you can also take this as part of the step to discovering finding your life partner, but we'll get there in particular. Okay, so you need to discover your principal. That's one who can guide you, who can instruct you, who can help you. Okay, and the P number two is discovering your purpose. I know that you have heard it 1,001 times that you need to discover your purpose. You need to do this. You need to know what you were created for. I once said that I think in singles help room that the most burdensome of partners are men and women who have not discovered purpose. See, marry anybody in this world or don't marry a purposeless person. It's going to be like ah maybe we've not found what to describe that experience with. Marry anybody in this world, but do not marry a purposeless person. You would be frustrated. You would be so frustrated. Somebody who does not know her right from her left, somebody who does not know what she wants in life and where she's headed to. You will just be traveling Israelite journey. You go round mountain, mountain you go round. and it's just going to be like you are wasting time in life. Okay, so discover your purpose because it will go a long way to help you. Let me say this. When I was in I think maybe final year, someone once said something, and we shared it. I think we shared that in our YouTube channel that we when they told me my husband would definitely have to be, it's not a prophecy. Someone was just saying that most of the times that your husband will definitely come from your friends, right? From the chain of your friends, your circle of friends. As much as I could not find anybody there, the point I'm trying to make is it just happens that the people you connect with in life, the people you network with, they matter in a life partner. They matter. The reason is they will most of the times come from that circle. So if you have not discovered purpose, it means you are definitely either following another person's purpose or you are among other purposeless people. And with that, you can be sure that who's supposed to be your husband, the reasonable man that is supposed to be your husband, okay, that is supposed to connect with you to fulfill purpose, to fulfill the reason why God created you, to help you live a happy life. Because for heaven's sake, purpose is joy, purpose is happiness. Who is the man that lives without purpose, fulfilling purpose and feels fulfilled? There's no joy outside purpose, right? There's no joy when you are not living the life that God intends you to live. And this is what many couples suffer. I am telling you firsthand, many couples suffer in their marriages. You see, as a matter of fact, they won't come to complain, but many people have married people who are not connected to their journey in life. And so they struggle in that marriage. There's no how that marriage will make sense. So one thing you should do for yourself is discovering your purpose because it will go a long way to affect the people your life will attract closely, the people that will fall into your circle, the places you go. Your purpose has a huge role to play. So discover your purpose. And lastly, you discover your partner. This is where I think we'll have to just find a way to link it because at the look time is looking at me. We have to be brief about it. Now, in discovering your partner, it is important you know that God is the best matchmaker. I said at the beginning that I am not trying to be religious. I am telling you what is what many marriage coaches. I am not a marriage coach actually. I preach my experience. I am preaching my experience firsthand. Okay, and I'm doing it to help as many young persons as God will bring my way. Now, I have heard many persons who say 30 things to look out for in the man you should marry, 15 things to look out for before you marry her. I do not have any problem with them. Of course, I just told you, marry anybody in this world, don't marry a purposeless person. And maybe if time permits, we're going to break that statement so it is not misunderstood. But then, if you really want to have the best of homes, you must be ready to allow God guide you. Many of the times, you have made some wrong decisions in life generally, let's say in the choice of a school, an institution, in the choice of a business. And I believe you must have been long into that business when it dawns on you that you made the wrong choice. This is the situation with many persons today. They took wrong decisions when making choice of a life partner, and today they are not coming to tell you, but they are seriously regretting that decision. Because some of them took those decisions on that first kind of love I told you, that emotion. And emotion is always on motion. It can be there today and it is not there tomorrow. And according to Delta people, anyhow you see them, you go take calm. So emotion is always on motion. So maybe after the marriage, emotion has moved. It has emotionalized to another location. So I read, and one counselor said somebody can actually love two persons at the same time. As I thought about it, I agreed to the statement that yes, you can love two persons at the same time as per this kind of our emotion, right? As per this kind of our love emotion, it can come today and go tomorrow. But in the real sense, if you are thinking of building, that's why I told you at the beginning that if you are thinking of building a lasting marriage, you must work with that first kind of love, and it is the kind of divine love that is static and is focused towards a particular person. I cannot love two men like this in my life. You see, this is my love of my life. I die here. I cannot love two men. There's no way. There is just no way. And if you think of building a marriage relationship, you must work with that divine kind of love. That love that is so interested in a person, whether or not he deserves it, whether or not she deserves it. Okay? Where were we? I think we're talking about okay, finding a life partner. Let's go back there. So the first thing I talked about the three P's already. That is understanding your identity. I talked about purpose and all. The next thing I want to say is character building. I hope we are following the whole thing, because I know I jumped to finding a life partner. I don't know if we're in line, but I hope that we're in line.
We are with you. We are with you. I'm loving how the thing is going. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. I know that I am trying to pick here and there, but I hope that we still get along. So, character building. You see, we were discussing with my husband the other day, and I tried to remind him that Shebi, anytime he comes home and I just serve him food like this, as he just entering, the joy, the I love you that will be coming from all corners of his soul.
Since your
It's
mic
a
is
different
shaking.
feeling altogether if he comes back and maybe I am not welcoming him with food. Does yes. But you see that love in motion. It comes, it does not exist as an abstract no, let me not sound too philosophical. You see that love in motion, right? Which is what we have believed to be love. That love that comes with emotion, that comes with what we see. It comes as a feedback to what we see, to what we hear. Because right now, you see that any man that gives a woman money, that man is the love of their life. Somebody said, if Satan now comes to give some ladies money, that Satan now will just start receiving pet names. Sati Bobo, Satan Bobo. And because he has given something, okay, understand that this kind of love is a feedback, is usually a feedback to certain actions, certain things that are done, as said also. Why do you think men um who relate to certain ladies who are not well dressed and all, and they are falling heads, Abi, had they talk am heads over you, Abi, for these ladies, you think is love? And you see, this kind of love emotion, it has small resemblance with lust. Okay, it has small resemblance. If you do not check for what you are experiencing right now concerning that sister, concerning that brother, or sorry, not be church, concerning that lady, concerning that guy, it is possible that what you're experiencing is this love in motion. And if you go ahead to build marriage on love in motion, tendencies are that when you get to marriage, and I don't live build character, please permit me, there's a lot to say if we are to spend time here. But if you go ahead to build marriage on love in motion, be sure that you would somehow someday regret it. The reason is that this love in motion is actually built on feedbacks. And I was trying to talk on building character. Character is the quality of a personality rather. So when you are still friends and all, and probably you are getting certain kind of actions, things said, things done, and the love is boiling and it's all sparkling and it's all pouring out, and you feel, oh, I am in love. I am in love. Love is in me. I am in love. And then you get to your home and the man is tormenting your soul. And that love disappears. Like you look at the man like this. You are seeing problem. You are seeing trouble of life, troubles of life. That thing you thought was love is no longer there. So now where does character come in sustaining that love emotion? Because that love emotion is very important to sustain in a home. Oh yes. It doesn't matter how spiritual you are. It doesn't matter how much of a heavenly being you are. If you want to build a sustainable marriage, a relationship in marriage that will last long, you need to deliberately build character. And I'll explain. I gave an instance of times when I make certain sacrifices for my husband, and how that the love leaves level 100 to level 100 and 100. Okay, now that thing is a response to certain things that he had felt by whatever I have done. Don't, Okay, I think part of the discussion my husband
Sorry, guys. Okay, our speaker is having some glitches.
will
I
not
think
get
he's
time.
back.
Network should just cooperate. Okay. Now
Thank
this
you.
man
Welcome.
decides. Okay, yeah, but are we together?
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
We
thank
are.
you, sir. So this man decides to finally marry you because, like I was saying, I don't know if you heard, I talked about a man who maybe has actually what's in this English? He has actually expressed his love to you, that he loves you,
He has
and it's
proposed.
possible, like I said, it's a feedback from you have a sweet voice or you are talented. He loves your comportment. You remember that I told us that the love of Jesus did not come on the grounds of any of this. He just loved us. He just loved us for for what he wants to make of us. Okay, and that's the kind of love we should have. Contrary to this, so back to that guy who is liking a sister because she sings well. Back to that woman, a lady who is liking a brother because he sings well. Now, when you eventually eventually get married, and you discover that, um, let's say the man wakes up in the morning, and the woman who is meant to take care of him is sleeping. She wakes up in the afternoon. She picks up her phone. She's on her phone. The house is dirty. The man is down, probably financial crisis. There's no voice of encouragement, nothing suiting. She does not give him any kind of value. Trust me, that love whatsoever that has been expressed in time past is going to die off. This is why building character, knowing how to partner with another person peacefully, valueful, okay, lovingly, and all that should be. So please, I'd like to know how many minutes more I have because like this, I am feeling heated up already. We have a lot to say, and
I
there's
am feeling like we will continue this session till whenever whenever you are done.
it's okay.
Or maybe we'll have another episode two of this session.
Okay,
But
because
I think we have about 15 minutes more.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
How many minutes, please?
yeah, I think we have 15 minutes more. But
Okay, 15 minutes more. God help us.
but
Let's do our
I
best.
was saying if
Okay,
we can't
so,
finish up, we may have to have
okay,
episode two.
okay, sir, okay. Okay, nonetheless, just see how far we can go. So we need to build character because it is important. Listen, I gave an example when we started of that marriage counselor who said he found couples who didn't want to continue their marriage because of whatever reason they had, and they still claim to love each other. I agree with them, okay? I agree with them that they love each other because they definitely must have enjoyed one very good thing from the other person. I mean, people can impact your life with their kindness. People can impact your life with. There are some women who may not be good with certain things,
Sorry,
but
my your
they
mic
don't
is
miss
not so
cooking for
clear.
their husband. Okay, my
It seems to be shaking.
okay. Remove my okay. So let's talk about
So
All
you
right,
need to
yeah.
build character. Yeah, you need to build character. I think even if we do not continue or have a season two, maybe we could see how to write and send to the group on building character because it's going to take a whole lot of time. Okay, so you need to build character that is able to sustain. Like I said, you need to learn how to have a relationship, and it must be built on that first kind of love where you are committed. See, marriage is work. In fact, I used to, sometimes I would just quote this scripture to my husband: work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Marriage is actually work. In case you have ever thought of love, marriage to be a den of emotions. I love you. I love you. Marriage is everything work and effort. Marriage is you forgiving the things that ordinarily you wouldn't want to. Okay, no, let's not say you don't want to, because everybody should forgive. Okay, but overlooking, rather, I think that would serve. Overlooking the things that ordinarily would have meant to you because you are interested in building that relationship. Marriage is actually a big course. Marriage is a big course. You need to pour into marriage to see it thrive. Build a whole lot. You must build your ability to bear. If you want to talk on character building, I think, like I said, we're going to write and send to the group. Then we talked about having a strong sense of purpose already. Let's just take this last part in the next 10 to 11 minutes that we have. Okay, so what should you do when you want to find a life partner? Okay, the things that I mentioned earlier are actually the things that you should look out for in yourself as yourself. Okay, I talked about purpose, understanding your identity. I talked about character building, discovering purpose, having a strong sense of purpose, and all. These are things that you should put in place for yourself as a person. Marriage fails when you have two people who are not able to handle it, because it's a big deal. Like I said, it's a big cost. So when you have two people who are not capable, who are not ready, who are not willing. Willing, I mean, is not as light as I said it. Willing is willing to carry the cross of the home, willing to ensure that that relationship thrives. It's just like one who is managing an organization as a leader. Of course, this is even a leadership institute hosting this meeting, so we understand. You must be able to build the character that is needed to sustain it. Okay? Everything possible. So this is the time to invest into yourself and ensure that you have your best of version. It's not to go and please another person, no, but it's to ensure that your home works, because it is on the wings of these characters, the wings of your ability to manage certain things that other homes may not be able to manage, and of course will lead to breakage, will lead to divorce and all. Your ability to manage these things that sets your home apart. It is important that you build on all the things that you should build as a person that would need to relate to another person and to build a successful marriage. So let's talk about what to do when finding a life partner, what to look out for rather in the other person. First of all, you should look out for love. Love, that kind of divine love on one hand. And on another hand, you should look out for love in motion. I own this word, so you do not want to go and look for love in motion. It is my understanding of this concept, and I'm giving you, like I said, I am teaching my experiences first hand. And this is what I know we have different perspectives to life, but this is my perspective with a few others. Okay, so I think it's still valuable. I think if you work with them, they will help you in one way or the other. So we're talking about love as the first thing you should look out for when finding a life partner. Now you need to, we already mentioned that it is important to have that divine love on one hand, and on the other hand, it's important also to have love in motion. You should be able to look at the person. My husband used to say, anybody you want marry, make you try. They look at, like, my pidgin now is not working, but let me paraphrase in English. You should be able to look at this person, and the person fine for your eye. Do you understand? Like, even if the person no fine for that person eye, the person should find in your eye. Okay, so you should have love, that divine love that is unconditional on one hand, and you should have some kind of attachment, some kind of connection with the other person. You should have that love in motion. Okay, love is important. Another thing is compatibility. Oh, this is the baba of all. I talked about a purposeless person. If you do not find purpose in someone, and even if God has said it is the person gone, I would advise that you take time out to set that in place, to put that in place before you talk about marriage. Okay, it is very important. compatibility of purpose, compatibility of personalities. We once taught in singles prayer room that before you get married, there is work to do. It is not automatic. You don't just find someone and decide to jump into marriage with the person because you have professed love. The butterflies are everywhere in your tummy, in your head, everywhere. And the two of you are so overwhelmed with I love you, I love you. And we are not also saying it's going to quench in 6 months because that's what they always say. Okay, we are not saying that either. But we are saying that to be able to build a meaningful marriage, you need to put compatibility tests in place. I mean, 100 over 100, yes. Putting it in place would mean that you have to check out for compatibility. It doesn't mean that everything may be in place, but then it will give you an understanding of what to work on, what to look into. If you are not compatible, it doesn't matter how saintly the both of you are, you would have issues. You would have issues. And such a marriage cannot last. So, what do you do when you discover that you are not compatible? The first thing to do is to always try to work it out. Okay. I hope that I remember to say what I want to say because I'd like to say it at the tail end of this meeting in a few minutes' time. Now, you need to check for compatibility first of purpose. Are you headed the same way? Or even if you are not headed the same way, as per the same way, okay, the first thing you should look out for is if the other person understands where you are heading to, and if you understand where the other person is heading to. You see, marriage itself is an institution that is meant to fulfill purpose, but as individuals, God has blessed us with certain abilities that is supposed to help us bless the world. And if you marry a wrong partner, in fact, an incompatible partner is a wrong partner. Do we understand? When you marry someone who you are not compatible with, there is no two ways about it. It is a wrong marriage because marriage is supposed to synchronize. Marriage is supposed to bring together. It's supposed to merge. And so when you marry somebody who you are not able to merge with, you're not able to connect with them, we are safe to say you are wrongly tied. So you are into a wrong marriage. So you need to check for compatibility. Your sense of compatibility is at the peak of your test. Okay, and then we already talked about checking out for purpose. Okay, checking out for purpose, checking out for your the connection of your purpose, and if the other person is willing to work with you. Check out your life goals, check out your relationship with God. Oh my God. I once said, and I once heard someone say too, that unequal yoke in marriage is not until you get to marry an unbeliever. Some of us, or some persons rather, we you are born again, you desire to have a home that is on fire for God, and all of a sudden you just carry one person that is not, she can swear with her life that she does not want to be serious with God. Okay, I remember when I was single, one of my suitors, I was discussing one of my suitors, and I told him I wanted my home to be a home of prayer. Like, I wanted my home to be, that time I was on high spirit. I say, my home, I just want prayer all the time. And he said, I should say I want to be angel and I want to be spirit. And that was, in fact, that was that was the end. It is safe to say that was the end. Okay, because I knew that I wanted prayer in my home and I wanted enough of it. So if you are already letting me know that you are not in any way interested in prayers, it means that we can't go further. So as a way of ending this session, I would like to say that you cannot talk about marriage without involving God. So the first thing to do when you want to find a life partner is to first consult God. These things we just listed out, talking about love, compatibility, and all, are things that should be before and even after you have heard God. Please listen to me, especially the Christians, okay? Children of God who desire to serve God and to fulfill God's plan and purpose for their lives. Understand that it doesn't matter if you heard a voice from heaven saying this is the person you marry. You should have, they should have, you should rather have allowance for to carry out all of these tests. Understand what I'm saying? You need to have allowance. It doesn't matter if you heard a voice, okay? Except if God instructs you on the contrary. You should be willing, you should be ready, to carry out the test that you should carry out, and to do the work that you should do before that marriage. I can see that it is time for questions already. We had to just rush the end. Summarily, before the questions pop up, summarily, we are done. Oh, okay, Sir David Gold, we are done. We are done. We are done. So, but summarily, um,
So I wasn't saying you should wind up actually, but yes, we are. It's already time that though. So let's just see how you can summarize, and then if we have any questions, we can attend to them.
Okay. We have actually ended. We have actually ended because of time. Summarily, I just want to remind us that love is divine in the first place, and every other love is not enough for marriage. Okay, and that we need to be able to build ourselves to fit into the kind of woman we want to build. So we need to build character. We need to discover the principal of God. We need to deliberately build a relationship with God. We need to discover purpose, and then to help us discover the partners that should be around us and eventually who we should settle with. I think these are the things that we can summarize all that we've learned into because of time. Thank you so much, Mr. David. So,
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am so grateful for this amazing session we've had today. Like seriously, my notes is full. I don't know if you could see. I was writing from beginning to end. It's been an amazing time, and it's always amazing learning from people who have gone ahead of you. I really want to appreciate your acceptance of us, and thank you for sharing the in-depth message you have given to us today. Um, I will just share a few thoughts based on what I've learned, and then please, if there are any questions, you can drop them in the comments so that we can quickly address them while she's here. But then, a few things I've learned from today's session. It's I would like to say them as we wait for questions. One of them is that love, emotion is always emotion. I
okay.
think that's something I'm just. Though I've heard emotions is energy in motion before now, but I've never thought about it in this direction.
Okay.
That emotions is always in motion in the sense that that love or that feeling, that sense of attachment you have for someone, it's always in motion. It can change today, it can change tomorrow if it is not,
Yeah.
you know, it's not divine love. If it's just maybe uh, if it's just lost or if it's just infatuation, it can change over time, and then suddenly you are here, you are there, you are no longer in love with that person, even when there are no obvious reasons for you not to. But then that's one very powerful thing I've learned today, and then also the aspect of compatibility. Um, and I think I like the fact you said giving allowance in the hearing. So you could hear a voice, whether it's an angel that comes from heaven or a spirit that comes from your bedroom. But then you could hear a voice, and then you are you are you are maybe so in love with this person. But then you have to check for this compatibility, this unequal yokes. Are you sure you can move
Yeah.
ahead with this person? And if you can't, you have to be. I think that's where I would ask one or two questions. For someone who has started the process,
Okay.
okay, and then you've had those feelings, and you've already, maybe you had the voice and all, and then you now found out that there are certain things that you both are not compatible on such things. What do you now do at that point? Okay, so there will be a few persons who may have such. And I was even with someone yesterday, and she was telling me how she has been in several
Okay.
relationships. I think that's also another thing we would also But you have already talked about that. She was in several relationships, but the moment one just ends, we just quickly look for another one to jump into, and then she was just jumping from relationship to relationship, and eventually, till God had to tell her to sit down. Come, all this thing you are doing is not just sit down, just sit down and learn because this is not the way to go about it. So she learned her lessons and then she had to calm down and decide that this thing she's not doing again. She want to calm down and really hear the voice of God and all. So, but how do you handle such circumstance where you've checked for compatibility and then you found out that this thing is not really working? How do you also, if you have to now end it, obviously you don't have to end it and cut ties with the person. If genuinely you love the person before that time, you may still be talking as friends and all. But just give us a general advice on that aspect of having to when you've checked and you found out that these things there are some
Okay.
things that we cannot blend. Is there a fix or should they break up and
I'm
what do
not
they
blended.
do if they are breaking up? Yeah, so I think that would be like my question. And then if there's any other question, we'll ask it and then we can wrap up for tonight. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Thank you. Okay. I think I tried to hit on that too. That it doesn't matter how much sure you think you are that the person is your supposed partner, supposed husband or supposed wife. You should after you discover that maybe there are lots of irregularities, a lot of differences. There is room to work. Let me say this. I think we should also learn to work. When we talk about relationship, we should learn to work. I have personal experiences relating working on incompatibility. I and my husband are very incompatible. Rather, we're very incompatible. We were so incompatible that we got married in April, right? In February, we were willing to quit. Okay, we were willing to quit. What happened? We had to realize that this is the this is the will of God, and we needed to work on it. Now, it is good that I share personal experiences so that we do not assume that these things do not happen. Today, I have one of the sweetest life on earth. I don't know who has a better life than myself because I enjoy my husband like honey. My husband is, I am not trying to hype him. If you know, you know that beyond social media, I have a beautiful home. But my husband was, we were very incompatible. I think we need to learn to work. We need to be willing to work. I think I mentioned willingness when we talked about pouring into marriage. Even if God has not said you can work a relationship, I'm not in a marriage relationship, but let's say you have a friend who you are both incompatible with, you can work it out. I mean, you can work. And what is the work? It's talk. I believe God 100% that if God is leading you, if it is God leading you to anybody and you find incompatibility, it is something that can be worked on. Let me also say this as it just dropped on my mind. You know, it is good to build your relationship with God because it helps you check certain things. I can tell you firsthand that there are many persons out there, I'm saying it by privilege and by the mercy of God, who wouldn't have gone ahead marrying my husband if they were in my shoes. Because the incompatibility that existed were sharp and impossible but because I heard God severally, I returned and heard God again. I, I was, if you know me that time, you know I was involved. And the solidity of my relationship with God and what it will mean in places when certain things are not working. The thing to do is to work, except it's not a relationship founded by God. It's not a relationship that's a must. Because there are certain relationships, there are
Sorry,
certain
sorry,
types.
sorry, ma, can you hear me?
Yes, I can tell you.
Okay, your network was shaking now. I was not hearing you clearly.
Okay.
So, and I don't know, could you drop the earpod? It makes your sound
I
to
should
be shaky.
go. I drop. Thank you. Sorry for that.
Ability most of the times can be worked on. So we should be willing to work. I mean, willing, 100% willing to work on it. Working on incompatibility, they are like gaps. We are not meeting together. Okay, working on them are not usually easy, but it is possible. And I gave an example with my husband that we had impossible gaps that looks impossible to fill. But and I said it, I don't know if you heard that part because you need to hear that part. That I enjoy my husband as honey. I enjoy my home as honey. My home is sweet and beautiful. And this was a home that would have probably wouldn't have even come to existence if I had backed out or my husband backed out because we had strong and striking differences, okay, and certain things that we saw that looked like impossible. So I am encouraging you, and then I'm encouraging everybody actually to work on gaps that you feel that are impossible. One, you walk through those parts. I mean, you walk those parts by prayers. Okay. Um, I may be sounding too religious. Sorry, I do not mean to, but this is it. Your
It's
relationship
fine. It's
with
fine.
God goes 99% your whole life. The success you get from everything you do, if you ask me, is 100%. Because I don't know, but sometimes you just talk to God and God gives you wisdom. He gives you wisdom to make your home work. I don't know. We may not have all the time, and but then you just go and work. Okay, you can work on your relation. You can work on your relationship. You can work on those gaps. But if it is so striking that you have worked and worked and worked and it's not working, you go back to God and mission, you back out. That means if you go back to God so much trying and you do not have God's permission, you may need to stay back and work again. And then I would like to say this finally as I round up. There are compatibility that's incompatibility rather that will not be sorted out until marriage. And even in the marriage, as you continue journeying on, a lot of incompatibilities will be falling in place, and that is the fun of marriage. The work, the growth, the progress, everything is not going to come in place at once. So, but the joy and the fun of marriage is seeing that you are growing. Sometimes we just look at ourselves and we're like, guy, we are growing, we've grown. Okay, so make little space for compatibility along the line. Okay, everything is not going to just fit in at once. However, a lot of it should fit in. Make you for no struggle. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for that amazing response. So
You're welcome,
even
sir.
for relationships that are already in marriage, and then there may
Yes,
be some issues at the moment, they can both work it out if they are committed to
they can
making
work
that
it out.
relationship
They
work. Yeah, so this is a general advice we are giving to everyone who possibly are married or preparing to get married, and then there are some things that seem not to be in place. If both partners are willing to put their both minds and hearts together to make sure that this thing works, because marriage
can. Yes.
is, you just have to make your homework because there's no option of
Just have
running out and say
you just
I
have
want to
to
run
be
out of
willing
this one.
to learn how to make it work. If
You just have to look for
not,
ways to make it
even
work,
if you
right?
get married, to not still work.
All right. So I would have really loved more write up on that aspect of character and character building. But since we don't have time, maybe you could just send us a write up on the WhatsApp community. So for
Okay,
those
okay.
who
I
are not
think
on our WhatsApp community, and you are seeing this video, maybe
all right.
we'll drop a
That's
link
important.
on the comment section. I think Quinette, you can help us do
Okay.
that. Just get the link to the WhatsApp group and drop on the comment box. So those who may want to join and then get the the feedback on this aspect because I think not just the character building, but everything about what you should look out for, right? Both in the male and in
Yeah.
the female gender. You could write it. But generally, it was an amazing time. I mean, an amazing session. It really opened my eyes and opened my heart to a lot of things that many people would not have talked about. And I'm sure that everyone who participated in this session this evening got value. So please, for those who are still connected live, you drop your comments. If you got value from the session tonight, drop your comments in the comment section. So, my Beatrice, thank you very much.
Thank you
And
so
extend my
much.
regards to your husband. I know he's somewhere there.
My lovely husband.
I know he's
Thank
somewhere
you.
there behind the scenes. So, extend my
Thank
greetings
you.
to him. Thank you very much for coming
Thank,
on our show, on our
thank you so much, sir. All right. Thank you.
So, to everyone who is just watching us for the first time, this is the Inspiration. This is our community monthly leadership series. We do this every month, and then we meet here third Sunday of every month for our leadership series. So, this month we decided to focus on marriage, love, because of the fact that we had a Valentine season, and we are preparing our community members for marriage. Right? That's for those who are not married. For those who are married, also, we are preparing them to have long-lasting relationships. Again for another insightful topic, and I think we would like to do some kind of poll to get to know what topics you would like us to talk about. But generally, it would be around leadership, it would be around business, it would be around relationships, like we've done today, family relationships and family, and also about entrepreneurship, career goals, and also generally it's about personal development. We want you to be leaders, and being a leader means you are a leader all round. You are a 360 leader. You're not just someone who is good on this side and then you lack character, you lack value on this other side. So your impact is not felt in the world, it's not felt anywhere. So we want to see how we can change that and build a new set, basically of leaders, but then of Christian leaders who understand their purpose. They know God for themselves. They have the understanding of their assignment on earth. And then they know whom what to do to achieve that purpose. The whole essence of their being is to fulfill their divine assignment on earth. That's the community of leaders we are raising. And so, if this interests you, you are part of the community already. Congratulations to you. If you are not there, then you should join us and see how we can help ourselves build and become better leaders in future. So, thank you all for joining us today. It's been an amazing time with you. Please do well to go to the comments on the WhatsApp group and then drop what you learned, drop your aha moments right from tonight's section, and then let's see how we can get prepared for next month. Where we'll be live again for another amazing session. So thank you all very much. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please, you got value. Do make sure to drop a subscription and hit the notification bell so that you get updated when next we come up with other live sessions and other streams. Thank you very much to you all. I pray for everyone that your relationships will work. May you not fall into the hands of the wrong person. May you not have a failed relationship, especially in marriage. The marriage will work and you will have the best family. Just like our speaker just said, uh, she enjoys her husband like honey. You enjoy your husband, you enjoy your wife, maybe even more than honey, right? But then God will make sure that you have the best of relationship and the best of marriage. So thank you all very much. It's been an amazing time with you. Till we see you again, do make sure to live a wonderful and amazing. Keep leading and keep inspiring. All right, so see you guys in our next leadership series. Good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Uh, See you next time. Ciao. All right.